What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Logan. This is episode 4 of the Dorm Room Sports Pod. Roll the intro. Well, hope you guys like that new intro. We got a banger of an episode for you guys today. Four topics, things that I want to talk about that are related to sports, of course, but that everybody can enjoy. So make sure you watch till the end because it's going to be a great episode. But before we get right into it, I just wanted to discuss my partner in crime. The desk looks a little bit different, only one of us. Synger's just taking some time off. Not quitting forever. Hopefully he'll be back soon, but school can be overwhelming for everybody. Not just school, but life. So he's just taking a break from dorm room sports for the time being. He'll be back soon. I don't know when, but hopefully soon. But our first topic of the day is let's talk about a game. So let's get into it. All right, for today's segment of Let's Talk About a Game, I'm talking about the Oklahoma City and New York Knicks matchup that happened for me last night. The Thunder, they took the Knicks to the final buzzer. Shai Gilgeous hit a buzzer beater, and they won 113-112. It was a very close back and forth game with a game within 1 point. In the NBA, you know it's going to be a good game. So, yeah, let's talk about it because MVP candidate Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he hit a very clutch shot at the end of the game to give Oklahoma City the edge. But he wasn't by any means the team's best player, and he's been banged up with a quad injury for the last couple days, up to a week or two now. And I think that's shown in the way he's been playing. He's been playing a little bit more conservative. He's given touches to guys like Josh Giddey, who had 16 points, 13 rebounds, 13 assists. He had double digits in 3 statistical categories, aka a triple-double. And he's had 3 of those in 3 appearances at Madison Square Garden, which is where the Knicks play. So that's where this game was. Josh Giddey just plays great under the bright lights. And hopefully we see that come playoff time because Oklahoma City has clinched a playoff spot, which means they're guaranteed a spot in the playoffs come April. And with a Mavericks loss, the Dallas Mavericks, in their next 2 games, or an Oklahoma City win over Philadelphia in their next game, they clinch a top 4 spot, which means they're a top 4 seed come playoff time. And that'll be great news for them as this rebuild has been way ahead of schedule, but they haven't made the playoffs for 3 years now since Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony, and Paul George were there. So this is big news for Oklahoma City fans like myself and the Oklahoma City organization. It's been a great season for them, and it's been a great season for Jalen Williams. He's had some great games, but this is definitely one of his best. He took control. He had 33 points, 8 assists, 4 rebounds. J-Dub was all over the place, and yeah, he definitely led this team when Shai was injured. But the whole team came together. They showed why. Just because one guy's down, that doesn't mean the whole team falls apart. They play together. Even my roommate, shout out Luke, he doesn't watch basketball, but he said to me on our car ride home, it seems like Oklahoma City always plays as a team. And I was like, yeah, they do. And he doesn't watch sports, keep that in mind. He just hears me talk about him. He's seen a game here and there. But yeah, he just reminded me, Oklahoma City plays the right way. And that's exactly what they do, night in and night out. Yeah, they play the right way. But so do the Knicks. Let's give them the credit. They were very banged up. They had 3 of their 5 starters injured. Julius Randle, OG Anunoby, and Mitchell Robinson. We're late into an 82-game NBA season. Guys are going to be injured. And they still took one of the best teams in the league to the final buzzer. This Knicks team can make a deep run in the playoffs come that time. They'll be there. Yeah, the East is loaded, but I think the Knicks are one of those teams that can be feared. And a lot of that is because of Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson, short little point guard, how much damage can he really cost, right? He had 30 points and 7 assists, was by far the best player on the court for the Knicks when he was there. But the whole team shoots really well. They assist a lot. They rebound well. They have elite guys, and they're an elite team, which, I mean, if you knew the Knicks a couple years ago, you wouldn't be saying that. But yeah, I like to do some game awards. So my MVP J-Dub, Jalen Williams, my coach of the game, Mark Dagno for the Thunder, drew up some plays, drew up a play to get Shea the game winner. And the defensive player of the game, haven't mentioned him yet, Lou Dort. He was all over Jalen Williams. He was right there in his face. Or excuse me, not Jalen Williams, Jalen Brunson. So yeah, Lou Dort was there. Very impactful defensive player for the Oklahoma City Thunder. And that's all I have for Let's Talk About a Game. I hope you enjoyed that segment. Next, I'm going to talk about the Paris Olympics and some changes for 2024. Summer Olympics are coming to Paris 2024, and the committee for the Olympics just announced some sports being added and subtracted. And I just wanted to talk about that because the committee announced the addition of breaking or breakdancing, surfing, skateboarding, and climbing. And I had no idea, for one, that breakdancing was an Olympic sport, but I did my research into professional breakdancing, and some of these videos are absolutely insane. I had no idea, but I think breakdancing is honestly going to be one of the more entertaining sports in the entire Olympics next year because it just looks so insane. And yeah, who knew that breakdancing was, done professionally? Surfing and skateboarding, of course, similar, obviously, in different environments. I was surprised that they were in the Olympics before, but I think the fact that they are is awesome. And then climbing, haven't really done my research. Shout out to all the climbers out there, but yeah, I think climbing is going to be cool. But sports that were dropped include karate, baseball, and softball. I mean, if you saw the baseball classic last Olympics, where Tokyo and the U.S. and Mexico and Colombia and the Dominican Republic, they all had great baseball teams. It was electric. The environments were awesome. So I'm sad to see that go. But karate and softball, also very significant Paris Olympic, or not just Paris Olympic, but Olympic sports in general. Yeah, I'm excited for whatever's to come for the Olympics. But I actually had no idea some of the sports that were in the Summer Olympics. So I just wanted to show you guys a list of all of them because there are so many, including new ones, old ones. But I mean, some highlighting some. Basketball, boxing, cycling, obviously, like BMX, mountain bike, all of those. Rowing, table tennis, there's such a variety. Beach volleyball, obviously all the swimming sports, weightlifting, and wrestling. Yeah, the Summer Olympics are awesome, and if you get the chance to watch them and support your country, do so because I'm excited for them. But I just wanted to kind of announce that I think, some of the sports being added are really cool, really interesting, really new to a lot of people. And whereas baseball, some of the more classic ones, karate, again, has been in the Olympics forever. And so, some of these old-timey, old school sports being replaced with new ones, new up-and-coming sports, is keeping the Olympics fresh, although I'm sad to see them go. But yeah, it's going to be awesome, and I'm excited for whatever's to come for the Paris Olympics, as I said. So this is all I have to talk about. Next, I want to talk about Jalen Williams, previously mentioned in my Let's Talk About a Game, and just how good of a player that he's been all season. All right, I am a fan of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Some of you guys know that. You guys saw some OKC players in the intro, the new one. And I try not to be biased in some of the segments that I choose and some of the things that I talk about, even though it's my podcast and I can talk about whatever I want. But seeing some of the numbers and some of the statistics that I saw regarding Jalen Williams, a player for my favorite team, I couldn't help but not talk about him in the podcast because he has been so good this season and so good at everything, not just a few things. He's been so good at everything when it comes to being an NBA basketball player. He is a future star in the NBA. He's just in his second year. Obviously, he's still adjusting. He was just a rookie last year, and he's already proven to be one of the more dominant and significant playmakers and just one of those guys that is all over the basketball court. And it's just his second year. It's just crazy. So I wanted to put up like a little, summary of his stats this year versus his career, because he's putting up 19.2 points, 4.5 assists. He bumped up his field goal percentage, his 3-point percentage significantly. His free throws have improved slightly. His per 36, he's just all over the place, and he's played He played at this point 63 out of 65 games. Now it's up there with 70. He's played more than a lot of second options have this year. Obviously, there have been injuries for every team. But let's talk about what he's good at, because he's good at shooting. He's good at guarding shorter guys or taller guys, perimeter or interior defense. He's good. He has amazing court vision. That goes along with his shot IQ and overall basketball IQ. And most importantly, he creates and he makes tough shots. He makes fadeaway jumpers like I've never seen. This dude can hit a shot on anybody from anywhere on the floor, and he makes it look easy. And he does it efficiently, which is also important. I want to talk about efficiency, actually. He leads the league in contested shot percentage, which is just shots with guys in your face. Mid-range shot percentage, shots between the paint and the three-point line, and fourth quarter efficiency. This guy is so clutch. But why is he not recognized as much as he is? I think a lot of that comes from Oklahoma City being so driven by star power and specialists. So, for example, Isaiah Joe, he can shoot threes like nobody else in the league, but he's not going to do anything else as well as he shoots threes. Or Lou Dort, he plays defense like nobody else, but he's there strictly to play defense. Chet, there for interior defense. He's 7'1", he's got to be good at that. But, he's not going to do a lot of, perimeter defense or anything like that. Although there are some guys in Oklahoma City's roster that may not be as balanced, J-Dub is one of those guys. But I think some of his specialties are being a downhill attacker. I saw this tweet from Thunder Focus right here. Shea ranks second in volume wings inside the three-point line, but Jalen Williams is third. And that duo right there just shows how dominant this team is and how good they are at getting to their spots. They get the shots that they want. Jalen Williams, he's a big part of that. But I want to ask you guys, maybe comment below, is Jalen Williams, is he a future All-Star? Is he future All-NBA? Is he a future MVP? Because I'm telling you, he has that ceiling. He has that potential. And yeah, pop up another tweet. Stat Mamba shared. He's the best clutch shooter in OKC. He's a second-year player, and he's leading Oklahoma City, the best team in the conference, one of the best teams in the league, in the clutch. He's a leader, and it's so rare to see players like that in just their second year. Pop up another tweet. 3-cone. Blows my mind. Some people still think J-Dub is a role player. This guy is a superstar. He might not be the best player on his team, but he is a superstar. And I think he's an MVP in the making. That's what I think. A lot of people are like, well, is he going to stay with OKC? Well, his next years are both team options, which means the club can exercise to return him. Those are about $11 million between the 2 years. And then he's a restricted free agent for about $9 million on a qualifying offer. So we most likely, as Oklahoma City Thunder fans, most likely have Jalen Williams for at least another 3 years. But he's also up for Best Teammate Award, like NBA-wide. Teammate of the Year. This dude loves OKC. Just looked at his pinned tweet. This dude loves Oklahoma City. I don't think he will leave after that 3-year contract, but he's so cheap. He's basically on a rookie contract right now still. Jalen Williams, really good at basketball. He's making this team so much better. His development is outstanding. He's all over the place, game in and game out. He's effort. He's electric. He will remind you of a prime Russell Westbrook, which is who I grew up watching as an Oklahoma City fan. He's finally making this Oklahoma City team come together, and that's why they're making the playoffs for the first time in 3 years. So, that is the end of my talk on Jalen Williams. Thank you so much for listening. Now, last but not least, my NFL Power Rankings. All right, you guys may see some ESPN or Sports Illustrated journalists make their way too early NFL Power Rankings, where basically before the season even starts, before we even get a chance to see how good some of these teams are going to be, they make their list of top 10 or, all of the teams, and, usually they'll give a couple reasons why. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to list my top 10 teams for next season and why I think they will be in the spot that they are. Let's get right into it, because my number one big surprise, the Kansas City Chiefs. it's the obvious answer. I know everybody's gonna have the Chiefs number one, but I just can't be different. They went to the Super Bowl and looked dominant there. Yeah, it was a great game. But this is also the second youngest roster in the NFL, so they're gonna develop both with chemistry and also just IQ in the sport. And they added wide receiver depth in Hollywood Brown and Rashid Rice. Obviously, there's a whole situation going on right there. We'll see what happens at the wide receiver position. But it can't be a worry because you still have Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes on the same offense. You have nothing to worry about when it comes to your offense. Andy Reid obviously is a fantastic coach. And with a young team, you got to expect them to come back, right? Yeah. So that's why they are my number one ranked team. But number two, we got a little bit of a change. Not the San Francisco 49ers, but the Baltimore Ravens. One name comes to mind, and that's Derrick Henry. Their huge running back pickup in the offseason. He's a beast. He's going to help that offense a lot. He's going to basically, be the oil to that motor. And I think he'll be the glue that holds that team together. Lamar Jackson, he's a very quick running back. That pairing with Derrick Henry, going to be crazy. But, yeah, the loss of the defensive coordinator is what a lot of people are bringing up. Obviously, the defense will not be horrible. Patrick Queen is a linebacker they lost. That's one player. Zach Orr coming in as the new defensive coordinator. That's a really good pickup for them. I think he's a great coach, and I think this offense is going to be dominant on the other side of the ball. So that's why they're my number two team. Number three, the Detroit Lions. They've been criticized a little bit for not making many moves in the offseason. They didn't sign many new players. But yeah, being intact as a roster is also a good thing when it comes to the NFL because you get another team, another year to learn the team, and you get another year of experience for everybody in an already young Detroit Lions team. Yeah, they didn't lose in the Super Bowl like the 49ers did last year, and that takes a toll on a team. It really does. And so yeah, psychologically, the Detroit Lions have an edge on the 49ers, and I think Lions fans, they were given a glimmer of hope. They're going to be loud next year in Ford Field in Detroit, and that's going to be, a big advantage for them. And as previously mentioned, my number 4 team, the San Francisco 49ers. Obviously losing a Super Bowl is historically not good for a team, but they can come back. It's going to be hard, obviously, and they lost some role players such as Chase Young, Charlie Warner, Ray McLeod, just to name a few, in free agency, and they made very few pickups, and they're also the 4th oldest team in the NFL, so they're certainly relying on staying healthy with an injury to, Brock Purdy, injury to George Kittle, injury to Christian McCaffrey, DeForest Buckner. Those are just a few guys that could really throw off the season if they get injured for a long period of time. And so that's why I have them as my number 4 team, but as my number 5 team, I do have the Buffalo Bills. They always seem to be around this spot. Are they going to be finally a top 3 team? Are they going to drop down to, around a 10 or 8 or a 9? But yeah, don't take this playoff loss as a sign that the Bills are going way down because they lost to the Chiefs. And this is obviously, they're the number 1 team in the entire league, in my opinion. They're going to be back. They're going to be hungry for more. So many people have them way lower than 5, and I think you just have to look at it as their losses don't outweigh their additions, So, yeah, take it as how you want, but yeah, they also don't have the hardest division in sports, The Jets could be all over the place, the Patriots could be all over the place, and we'll see what happens with the Dolphins if they come back. But yeah, I still have faith in the Buffalo Bills despite their playoff loss last year. And moving on to the NFC, at my number 6 spot, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. They replaced their coordinators with Vic Fangio and Kellen Moore. After doing some research, I think these are fantastic replacements and guys who can really boost their offense and their defense. Jalen Hurts and Saquon, they have a chance to be really good pairing. But let's not forget about their wide receiver room. They're stacked. Let's just look at it like that because they can be really good. They have the potential to be really good, and I have faith for them. And they also have a plethora of options in the draft. So yeah, a team team like the 49ers, they might have like one spot they need to target. And yeah, I think the Eagles have a plethora of options. They could beef up their D-line. They could replace some of the losses in their own line with Jason Kelsey retiring, etc. So, yeah. Number 7, the Cincinnati Bengals. A team I had lower last year after, their loss in the Super Bowl. But they went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. And even though Joe Burrow did become injured last year, I think they have faith. I have faith in them returning to be, an elite spot in this AFC, which is so hard right now. Burrow's back. They were 8-9 without him last year. This just goes to show that they're, a really good team around Joe Burrow. And Joe Burrow's a fantastic quarterback. And we've seen some guys, really struggle after injury. But I'm high on them. I think they're going to be very good. They're going to be very motivated to come back. They went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago, just 2. And so many people have them outside of their top 10. I disagree. I have the Ravens winning the AFC North, but I think the Cincinnati Bengals are going to be right there competing with the Steelers. And yeah, so give me the Cincinnati Bengals on my number 7 spot. So we're kind of flipping from AFC to NFC. Let's go back to the NFC because the Green Bay Packers are my number 8 spot. Rounding out the top 8, the Green Bay, they had a very interesting offseason. Just overall, they're kind of unexpected. It was hard to predict what they were going to do. Matt LaFleur is a fantastic coach with another year of experience with this young team. And most importantly, Jordan Love just got a year starting as a quarterback under his belt. And that's going to be really, really good for them. Now he has Josh Jacobs to possibly reduce some of that pressure in the pass game. And he still has decent wide receivers. We'll see how this defense performs next year. They made some good decisions as far as who they brought in. I think their defense will be good. The Packers, they're one of those teams that have like a really high ceiling. I say they could be top 5 if everything goes perfect. But they also have a really low floor, maybe a little reliant on health. So yeah, they could fall down to 10 to 15 if things go wrong. So I'm putting them right in the middle, number 8. But moving on, number 9, the Houston Texans. Last year, unexpectedly made the playoffs. A very young team. They made a push that not many people were expecting them to make. CJ Stroud, the rookie quarterback last year, now a second-year quarterback. And Will Anderson showed why the Texans had the best draft class last year. That team was electric. They're young. I think CJ Stroud is a future superstar, and the whole organization is turning around, which I think is fantastic. I also wanted to mention their coordinators, Bobby Slowick and Demeco Ryans, both had added last year. Now, again, experience. They have a year kind of adjusting to this new organization. I think those coordinators are going to be fantastic in developing CJ Stroud and Will Anderson and the teams around them. I trust the Houston Texans, and I think they'll be right around this spot. I think that's a good spot. Even though they have one of the hardest schedules next year, I do think they will fight through it. And come playoff time, they may even make a run, kind of like they did this year. But rounding out my top 10, I want to talk about the Dallas Cowboys because a lot of people, they think they didn't make any offseason moves. They didn't sign any new guys. They can't be top 10, right? No, that's not right. Obviously, I think if I was a Cowboys fan, which I'm not, I would want my team to make some changes, kind of show that they're building for the future if that's what they choose to do. But although it's somewhat concerning, team chemistry will be at an all-time high. This is a team that's played together last year that get another year to play together to try again. Dan Quinn as a defensive coordinator and Mike McCarthy, defensive-minded coaches. This defense is going to be really concerning for other teams. It's going to be a strong spot. So really all Dak Prescott, their quarterback, has to do is be decent, and their defense will carry them to a top 10 spot because I really like the scheme that the Cowboys have, and I think if they build around that, they'll be a top 10 team for sure next year. And that rounds out my way too early predictions. Let me know what you guys think. Did your favorite team make the list? I didn't. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Who would you guys have higher or lower? That's going to bring us to the end of the podcast. It was a little bit of a short one, but that's all I got for you guys today. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you made it to the end, drop a like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Hit that little bell thing. It's totally free. So let us know what you thought. We're on X, Instagram. Don't forget that. Stay tuned for the next episode and see ya.